Hope is the promise that life can be better tomorrow than it is today. Lutheran Family and Children's Services of Missouri.
In memory of his late sons, founder Reverend Johann Binger began a campaign to build an orphanage in De Pere. The Waisenhaus zum Kindlein Jesu, or Orphanage for the Children of Jesus, was founded in 1868 with the mission to protect and nurture children without homes. Today, 140 years later, Lutheran Family and Children's Services still opens doors for people in need. Those who are challenged by poverty, violence, divorce, unemployment, illness, homelessness, and so much more. Founded on the principles of hope and faith, LFCS offers compassionate service to its neighbors, regardless of race, belief, national origin, gender, or age.
The mission statement of Lutheran Family and Children's Services is that God's love in Jesus Christ empowers Lutheran Family and Children's Services of Missouri to bring hope and wholeness of life to families, individuals, and children. If I could describe Lutheran Family and Children's Services in 3 words, they would be hope, promise, and faith.
LFCS is a statewide agency with offices in St. Louis, Cape Girardeau, Springfield, and Columbia.
There's no greater satisfaction than seeing the mission lived out in the lives of those who are being helped. Imagine being part of creating a forever family.
One of the most powerful parts of my job as president of Lutheran Family is when I'm invited to participate in an adoption. Because I'm there as a foster parent or a social worker, brings a child in, hands it to parents and says, "This is your new son or daughter."
We got to meet Christopher when he was 1 day old, and it was just sheer joy. It was all the excitement, everything you could imagine.
When we saw Sarah for the first time, it was at the entrustment ceremony. So it was just a very joyous occasion that we were able to meet Sarah and get a little bit of background and history on her family as well.
In 3 words, Lutheran Family means for us future, family, and forever.
I have lupus, an autoimmune disease, and if I wanted to be pregnant and deliver a baby, I would have to stop medication, and people still do it, but I wasn't very comfortable with that idea, and adoption excited me. I am a Japanese, and we are international family already, and I wanted to adopt someone Asian, and that would be very hard to do in Missouri.
After we met May in China, we had to stay in China for about 2 weeks to finalize the paperwork and get her passport and so on and so forth. It was also a time for us to get acquainted with May. A quick description of Lutheran Family and Children's Services would be an answer to our prayers.
When we first met our children for the first time, I know I was a nervous wreck. I don't know about Cedric. And I think I was probably the most nervous when we went to go see Courtney because she was our first child.
When I look back and I think of the first 2 children, that was the biggest change for us because we had no children at the time. But after the second child, everything kind of fell into place. It's just, well, continue doing what you did before. Well, when my family heard that we were adopting, they were surprised, but they were very supportive, and I was very gratified to hear that.
And I think the same with my family. They were very surprised, but very happy because this was going to be their first grandchild. That was the first reaction. But I have to say, we've adopted 5 children, and by the time we've adopted the 5th one, the reaction was a little different. It's probably more into shock. We take the opportunity whenever we can to share the stories of adoption. That's one of our passions. And so where there may be a myth, maybe we have an opportunity to dispel that.
I can't imagine that I would love a child that we gave birth to more than I love the 5 children that we have.
Lutheran Family and Children's Services of Missouri is so much more than its name. It's about everyday people of faith who believe in what they do.
We have programs in child care, senior counseling, adoption, foster care, crisis pregnancy counseling, youth mentoring, advocacy, disaster response, and counseling.
I think it's important to give back to the youth today because someone gave back to me, gave me a chance you know, have a role model in my life, I think I need to be a role model to someone else, because you never know what that person is feeling or thinking. But if you have somebody to help them guide themselves to it, they can do what they want.
Taking care of foster children has given me an opportunity to, in being in practice 25 years, given me an opportunity to see these children grow up and become productive members of society. And for me, that's been a tremendous, rewarding experience.
With counseling offices throughout the St. Louis metropolitan area and St. Charles, our counseling program is here to help you when you are in need. Some of the reasons people come to LFCS include problems at work, life transitions, depression, anxiety, and marriage preparation. Services are offered to adults, teens, and children through individual, family, couple, and marriage therapy, as well as in groups.
After looking at several daycares, Hilltop was recommended, highly recommended, and after visiting a couple of times, the staff was really engaged and the director seemed to be in tune with a lot of the kids there, so we chose Hilltop. As working parents, it was important for us to be sure that Cannon was in an environment where he wasn't just a number, where there was quality care and he would have individualized attention.
If a parent asked me about Hilltop to send their children, I would tell them it was a great place. They look after the kids, they enjoy them, they treat each one as a separate individual, and they just truly love the children.
In 3 words, to describe Hilltop: quality, affordable childcare.
Super, great, and fantastic.
One of the things that we really liked about M Point was that it provided for both of our children a very structured environment. They have a curriculum that they establish for each day. They had scheduled activities. For example, they have little popcorn days or dress as a pirate day. So it keeps it fresh and exciting for the children.
The staff here at Elm Point really seems to cue in on the needs of our children, and really of all the children that are here. I mean, when I walk in, I hear happy children. And to me, that says a lot about the staff.
If someone would ask me about Elm Point, I would highly recommend the school for them and for their children. It's very family-oriented, obviously very child-oriented, and we've had just a great experience here.
3 words that describe Elm Point are clean, caring, comfortable.
I trust the staff. I trust the leadership here at the school to make good decisions for me when I'm not around.
As you can see, it takes a community of dedicated employees and volunteers to offer greater hope and wholeness of life to so many St. Louisans.